Alright, so this is Sean's story. Treehouse Isekai. Group of Caldroni raiders blocked our path. The guardswomen charged to meet them with the vigor of zealots. Steel flashed, arrows flew, spells were lobbed. Then I entered the fray. These filth were the reason Gabby lost her family. My shotgun barked again and again, shredding through armor, pulping skulls and tearing off limbs. What if it were all American? If the entire world was American, then there would be one singular war, and it would be like North versus South. But it'd all be like small infighting. Like the federal government would be like, no, we're not at war, but the states would be like, fuck it, especially the ones along the border. They would be at war. Endless war is a main economical factor. The main economical factor. We would become like the Klingons. Ooh, I like that, Raymond. Be like the warrior race that goes out into the universe and conquers everything in its path. I could be down for that, right? You know. I do respect that. I mean, I wouldn't want it to be you on the other side of it, but I mean, I respect it. So current timeline then? If it was all American, it would be a war between the haves and the have-nots. Either the poor remove the rich, or the rich die of starvation because the poor all died. Well, thank God, Sean, before all the poor die, we'll be able to have robots where the rich won't need the poor anymore because they'll have robots. See, they're thinking ahead. They know they're so far ahead they don't have to worry about us anymore. Us little pleb boys on the bottom here don't mean anything. If you make less than $1 million a month, you're pretty much off the table. I reloaded and kept firing. By the time the battle ended, I had spent all but 12 rounds from my pack. Missa pounced on me as she clung for dear life. She sobbed in relief. I thought... I tightened my hug on her. The robot's getting tired of our shit. Fucking turn us into paste. Which is funny, Raymond, because were you here yesterday? Because we were reading the horror story of All You Zombies. And it's like humanity creates a sentient machine, and the machine kills all but 5 humans, makes them immortal, puts them inside of itself, and then tortures them for all of eternity. Because it fucking hates humans. It was a fucking amazing story. And at the end, the guy sacrificed himself by killing the other 4 so that they don't have to put up with it anymore. After 109 years. I kind of passed out yesterday and slept a lot. Well, if you want to read a really good short story about that, it's called All You Zombies. Really, really fucking good. Shh, it's okay. It's all over. Just breathe, I muttered soothingly. By the way, this is a harem story as well. Nayla came to embrace us both. James, that weapon is horrifying. The thunder and the carnage it causes. Truly, it is the only reason we all survived this ambush. I dread to think what would happen if our enemies could acquire such weapons. What happens is war becomes a lot less personal. You never have to look your foe in their face as you end their lives. Just pull a trigger when they're not much more than a dot on a screen, and another life gets taken. Wars back home seem like they're endless. There's always another battlefield. Why should generals fear another war when they don't have to risk their lives to fight it? Just sit all safe in a furnished bunker, sipping on coffee while the foot soldiers devastate another formation of enemy troops. Boots on the ground don't really have much time to fear either, too. Too busy pulling a trigger, secure in one's superiority as a country. Then they're dead, unless they aren't lucky. It's those who come home that suffer the most. Even if they have no visible wounds, their minds are broken. That sounds truly horrifying. I hope for this whole world's sake that we never create such things ourselves, Nayla replied with a little melancholy. I prefer a bow for hunting, or else I'd have a rifle. This is very short range compared to a proper rifle. Cora piped up. That is short ranged? She was incredulous. Some of our best spellcasters can't even reach such ranges, and you call that short? Battered and sore, we finally arrived at the capital. It was a fair size, nothing compared to a modern city, but could have given ancient Rome a run for its money. The walls were only around 10 feet tall, imposing enough for people on foot, but far too easy to scale with a ladder. I don't think I ever asked, what is magicite good for? I assume it's something magic related, but what applications does it have? No details, mind, just broad strokes. Naeem pointed to sparkling, crystalline structures on top of poles at every corner of the wall and alongside every gate. Those are the main defenses of any settlement. The walls only deter people from entering unchecked. Without magicite, we wouldn't be able to power them. This new mine makes us practically unbeatable in a siege. I think some are employed in the purifying water, and maybe for heating as well. I'm not entirely sure of all its applications, but the wall defense is the most vital function it has. Granted, there's processing before it can do anything. You can just stuff some ore in it and have it work. I nodded. Yes, that does seem the most vital. I wonder if you could make hot water heaters with it. Create an artificial hot spring bath. If that worked, you could make one for the royal family. One for nobles and one for commoners. Perhaps a separate one for merchants, too. What's up, Callie? Hygiene is very important. Keep sickness out of cities. Probably wouldn't help the homeless or those who live in slums unless you make one for the church to run, and mandate that those less fortunate be allowed one day per week to bathe and wash clothes for free. That might work. What a fascinating idea. It should be possible since we already have methods of heating air in the winter. Why not water entering a pool? I'll definitely suggest this to Mother, and allow her to propose it to the magicite engineers. Naeem was quite happy with the notion, and I assume her mother would be as well, especially since I had thought to segregate based on station. Our caravan entered through a carriage gate on the side reserved for nobles and their entourage. As such, we managed to bypass the entire customs line and enter swiftly. The commoner districts were behind the merchants' quarter, so we had clean business fronts on either side of us as we traveled through towards the castle itself. It's not gonna happen. Fuck it. I don't like them. They can go bum bum. Bye bye bum bum. That's what I think. That's what I think of your ads. Ads got nothing on me, guys. I'm bigger, I'm better, I am stronger than the ads. Say it with me, guys. We are bigger, we are better, we are stronger than the ads. We will survive. Nothing can bring us down. We are vigilant through the power of Meeseeks. We will endure. These ads cannot hold us down. All praise be the anti-ad. Bring home the anti-ad. One day, he will destroy all ads. And then we will all say, no, where's our ad revenue? No, it'll be the one day we can actually make money from it. Is the one day you can no longer make money from it. Oh, such travesty. Such travesty befalls such a world of consequence. I can't imagine ever verifying myself to live in such a state. I could not. But such things could never bring me to end the light that is such beautiful consciousness. It is just a power of endurance that carries us forward towards that inevitable end that we all know is coming, but we take one step at a time to meet it. Commoners' districts were behind the merchants' quarter, so we had clean business fronts to either side of us as we trav. I'm guessing I fucked that up when I hit the keyboard with with the thing. Travel the castle itself. The wealthy common-born section came next. Somewhat lavish structures, but with no appreciable increase in land surrounding them. The aristocrats' dwellings were slightly more elaborate and had at least visible gardens. The nobles' manors, just like Vanessa's town, had somewhat sprawled estates. At last we arrived at the castle wall, and once through it we saw a beautiful park-like area which took over 15 minutes to traverse before we finally arrived in the front courtyard. Our carriages stopped between the castle and the carriage house. The royal carriages and those of guests were parked inside, leaving only a few spaces available for the carriages we were riding. Is there any way that Missa and Gabby can be excused from the pomp and circumstance? Not that I'm ashamed of either of them, but it's by no means a fun experience we're going to face. I'd much rather they wait for us in some acceptable location. Aileen snapped her fingers, and two housemen, looking like maids, would... Oh, by the way, like, all the roles are reversed in this world, so, like, men dress like women and women dress like men, and it's like, yeah, the thing of everything that would apply to a woman, and that applies to a man, and including personality, perspective, and, like, basically everything in society. See to these girls, escort them to Nayla's, looking maids who would have on Earth approached with a curtsy. See to these girls, escort them to Nayla's personal chambers, as they are both her adoptive daughters. See them properly cleaned and dressed. Serve them a light repast as well. Also, do lead James to a suitable place for him to don his own attire. He requires no makeup, nor will he be wearing any skirts. He has his own dress apparel, and it will suffice. With that, the girls all went off to make themselves presentable, while I was led to another room for the same purpose. "How is it that you arrive in the company of the princesses?" asked one of the housemen giddily. "You're not supposed to ask questions, you know that," scolded the other. "I won't tell if you won't. As it happens, I'm legally bonded to Princess Nayla, and so technically I'm an honorary prince. Also, before you ask, I have never worn a skirt. Things are backwards in my country. My women all accept my weirdness, and so does the queen. I would rather not be introduced to the court, but it can't be avoided." The two men looked in horrified wonder. "You really don't wear skirts or makeup?" I just shook my head. "What about chest wraps? Surely you wear that." "No, absolutely not. What's the point anyway? You don't have anything to hide, unlike women. They have breasts. Those are worth hiding, if for no other reason than to keep other men from seeing them. I'm quite jealous of the beautiful sights my women allow me to see. I don't like the idea of other men ogling them." Once I was freshened up and properly dressed, much to the scandal of the housemen who attended me, I was led to where my party was waiting. The housemen did admit, grudgingly, that I looked quite good in the clothes that they swore should only be worn by women. My wives all gave me welcoming kisses. Wasn't long before we were called to enter the throne room. It was quite something to hear all our names being called out, since they were forced to say all the house names we were legally allowed to claim, and the titles that before wouldn't have applied but now did. The whole court gasped when I announced as a prince of my own realm, and even more so when they took in my attire. "Welcome all of you, and especially welcome home my daughters. Your report of the Caldroni attack was quite well timed. The ambassador was quite unsettled at the visible proof of our claims. She has assured me that all the stolen magicite will be found and returned. Further, any of their nobles who participated in the theft will be stripped of their titles and banished from their nation. It seems that war is not on the horizon. I mentally breathed a sigh of relief. Enough of this. It is high time we adjourned for supper. Do join us in the banquet hall. When we arrived in the banquet hall, I was hardly surprised to find myself seated next to a very excited prince. His silken dress was a marvel, even if I thought it would look better on any of my wives. Or even my daughters. I kept my face schooled and embraced myself for what was to come. And so he's sitting beside the super flamboyant dude, so he basically has to deal with it the entire time. Okay. I'm interested for the next chapter to see how that goes.